Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in for the second half of the LO League. My name is Ray, and I am joined here by my fellow commentator.
Hello, my name is Bugs Bite. I'm sure you've all seen me before, and if you haven't, though, this is my I wouldn't say first, but it's one of the first times that I've commentated for a tournament. So bear with me, but I'm really happy to be here, and I'm also really excited for today's matches. Woo! Yay! Yay!
I am as well. Looks like we're going to have a lot of fun to get into. I'm very excited to see exactly what the teams are going to bring out and exactly how they are going to um, sort of play it out today.
Yeah, especially since I don't personally. Again, I don't have personal bias toward either team, so I'm really interested to see on how like the picks, the bans. I'm really looking forward because this is all surprise to me. So I'm really looking forward to the matches that we have set up today. Is there anything in particular that you're looking forward to seeing, Ray?
Well, I'm always super excited to see an opera singer match because I
Mm-hmm.
think Battle of the Opera is always really fun in round one. But I would like to see maybe some hermit gameplay or even
Mm-hmm.
something a little out of left field like a geisha.
Oh yes. Seems like we're already getting our band picks in. We will have the airplanist and the gardener being taken out of today's or this round rather, and we're also going to be playing on. It seems to be Orange Factory. Very
Yes,
solid picks. Very solid band picks for that map too.
I think that's a really fun pick. For arms, they could be trying to potentially counter out um, that opera singer because she kind of struggles a little bit on this map
Mm-hmm.
because there are so many walls that she can't really like dash around quickly. It looks like we are going to see a first lock as the perfumer and the coordinator. Um, both pretty good characters for first lock. Of course, that means that they will be global banned for the rest of the match.
Yes, of course. And I do know somebody that's going to be very excited to see a perfumer. Since our third band has come in as well, it means we're going to be taking Seer off the table, which is completely fair, especially if we are looking forward to an opera singer. That just the owl buys so much extra time. Uh, but again, she can catch up very fast, but it's again completely understandable. We're also going to be seeing an antiquarian pick. It's very interesting that she was allowed out of her cage so soon, but again, anything can happen. And we're
I
also
honestly,
seeing our last pick, which is Mercenary. Fan pick.
absolutely. I definitely think that this is going to be a comp that the hunter's definitely going to want to bring either desperate fight or excitement for, with the coordinator and the antiquarian being a pretty fatal duo
Mm-hmm.
for any hunter who's not quite used to stuns. Banning out the merc, we may end up seeing a first officer lock.
Yeah, we might actually see a first officer or even uh oh.
A wildling pick. That is definitely interesting. I've definitely seen wildling picked more in
Mm-hmm.
the like earlier the first halves for the first
Mm-hmm.
pick. Um, and I definitely think that there could be potentially some stronger uh, rescuers out there. But I'm interesting to see how the wildling will be brought out to play.
Also a very harasser heavy team. It's very interesting that they've gone with this layout. But again, on a small map like Orange Factory, it's very understandable, especially when everything's so condensed and close together. I mean, like a lot of the good kiting areas are right next to basement, so it could be uh really integral that they do have the harassers online for when if such a scenario arises.
Mhm. If I were if I were Pip, I would probably want to potentially put the perfumer in a place where she would be easily chased. because it
Mm-hmm.
seems like she's going to really be the target for the hunter, with the others being intended to support her in her kite.
Mm-hmm. A strong pick like Perfumer, she can really hold her own for a while as well. She's a very good kiter. But again, all of them seem to be able to hold their own. Of course, we have the antiquarian with her stick. We have the wildling with his boar, and of course, once you get that cord gun out, it's pretty much curtains closed for her.
We are
Uh,
going to see a disciple lock for the first half. Definitely something that I wasn't expecting. Um, but just because we weren't
welcome.
expecting it doesn't mean that it's not welcome. Exactly. I think this is going to be super fun to see. Disciple is definitely an interesting choice on arms, not necessarily something I would have picked, but I'm very excited to see exactly how she will be played.
Yes, especially against these harassers. It really seems like they took into account the just how much support they can offer and kind of responded to it with a you know like a counter of sorts because again you can't harass if your skills are locked or if you're stunned, so it really does seem like it was a very respectful pick to like ease the tension just a little bit on the hunter.
I honestly think this is going to be something really interesting to see.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot wait for everyone to go ahead and get into it. I think this is going to be super exciting, and I'm excited. And I'm anticipating the battle against the survivors and the disciple.
Especially since it's a little bit rare that we see Anne nowadays. She hasn't fully tapered off into obscurity, but she is a little bit of a rare pick. So I do believe this is actually the first time we're seeing her in this tournament. So I'm really excited to see how this one plays.
Mhm. I'm a little excited to see exactly how the survivor team will handle up against this disciple,
Mm-hmm.
because not only, as you previously said, does disciple counter the stunners with the ability of the skill lock, but um, she also kind of counters these. This team was, I feel, very obviously meant to counter a um, an opera singer who we're not
Mm-hmm.
seeing. So as a result, this is a little bit of a weaker team against a character like Disciple.
Yeah, it really seems like they were banking on an opera singer pick, and it just didn't happen. It just it excellent. Like uh, how do I put this? Is an excellent response from the hunter to be like, "Hey, I see what you're doing, and I'm gonna deny it right now."
Absolutely. I think this is going to be something super exciting as we wait for everybody to go ahead and get ready into LLO League or LO League. Are there any expectations that you're hoping to see in this match, and any particular way you want it to go? Not in terms of survivor versus hunter, but in terms of maybe what kind of support you want to see, or maybe even potential spawns.
I'm really interested to see how they utilize the gun because I feel like everybody has a different use for the gun. Some people use it to kite, some people use it to harass. It's again, it's used only one time and then it's curtain closed for the coordinator. But she the utilization of her ability is just always uh, a welcome and exciting thing for me just because as somebody who plays coordinator personally, I always save my gun for kiting because I'm just horrible at kiting. So when I get into a sticky situation, I'll just pull out the gun and be like, please switch to somebody else. It's over for me. I have nothing left. But I'm really hoping to see that we can get some gun harassment.
Yeah,
Oh,
overall, I think we're super excited to see this hop in. Um, I personally am hoping to see, like you said, whether or not they play the coordinator in terms of a more rescue centric role.
Mm-hmm.
or in a more tighter role. It really depends. I wonder if we'll be seeing any flywheels. What do you think?
We may see a flywheel actually on the antiquarian, and knowing that it is an Anne, uh, it is a little bit tricky to actually flywheel the stun, but it can be done, and it could be very game changing for the survivors if they do manage to pull it off. But after all those flywheel dodges that we saw in the previous match against the Hermit, uh, I honestly have some pretty high expectations for what flywheel can be utilized for.
Yeah, absolutely. We are super excited to go ahead and start moving into this. I definitely think that out of this team, the perfumer is going to be a struggle against the disciple because perfumer is countered pretty heavily by Anne with
Mm-hmm.
the fact that the stun duration lasts almost as long as the entire perfume.
Mm-hmm. It's also again like once she gets the second presence or first presence rather, once Anne gets her first presence and she's able to redirect her cats, it really becomes a little bit more tricky to utilize the third perfume in my personal experience. But again, these players are not me, so they're probably significantly better than my skills. But again, we could be seeing like a lot of like perfume dodges as opposed to negating the damage. Uh, and what I mean by that is perfume a little bit of ways away, run away, have the ant jump to you and or like at least start the animation to jump and then just go back to the perfume.
Yeah, absolutely. Pardon me. I also think that um I wonder what build the hunter could be bringing. Potentially up down,
Mm-hmm.
um, with teleport, warp, or even excitement. Or we could be potentially seeing a trump card build with heavy palette breaking.
Mm-hmm. And is one of those characters I feel like that kind of requires the fast palette breaking just because uh, the survivors a lot of the time you see a survivor like hiding behind a pallet and dropping it when comes time for the stun to come down. And it really does make all the difference to have the fast pallet breaking, especially when you're in like a situation like that. It's also very on a map like Orange Factory, confined space could also be very beneficial, especially for the factory and the shack. It really is just a matter of what uh our hunter here chooses.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not sure if warp is permitted, but if it is, this could be very strong. Disciple is pretty fond of the warp now that it's been introduced into
Hmm.
rank matches.
I haven't personally had experience with the warp lately. Is how does warp and play?
So warp in plays kind of a little bit where you okay. So warp is not allowed, first off, but warp
Mm-hmm.
in, you kind of get that first hit and then use the warp to teleport back to the chair, and it's a lot faster than the teleport animation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like bringing a TP in, but you can also use it to pressure additional ciphers while returning back to the chair in time to stuff the rescue or just apply a little bit more pressure.
Mm-hmm. It's very interesting. As we had said, it seems that warp is not allowed in this tournament, which is completely understandable. It's still a new trait, hasn't been properly acclimated yet. Um, but of course, we could see the teleport being utilized as it was an as if it was a warp.
Mhm. Absolutely. We could also potentially be seeing excitement, though Trump card
Mhm.
on Anne is something that is also kind of popular depending on what trait you bring. We could see potentially excitement first trait and then switch to either blink or teleport or even blink first trait.
Mhm. I know Blink Ann is very popular, especially in the situation of the survivors vaulting over obstacles in order to get away from the stun. And It's I'm a Blink truther personally. I believe that Blink is a pretty staple trait for most hunters. But of course, uh as we've seen, a lot of these hunters, it's really actually kind of rare in this tournament so far that people have been bringing Blink first trait, and it's really interesting to me because me personally, when I play hunter, I always take Blink. It's like a crutch. I just can't get rid of it.
Well, blink is great if you're trying to get it down within the first like 120 seconds of the match.
Mm-hmm.
What you do is you get that first hit, you blink the second hit, and that pretty much sets you up for a tie.
Mm-hmm.
Especially depending on the hunter, or even blink first hit skill, second hit sets you up for a pretty quick down, therefore cutting the cipher progress significantly slower than if you had been bringing something else like potentially excitement or teleport.
Mm-hmm. It seems we're having a little bit of technical difficulties regarding spectators. So we're going to be having a little bit of a delay. Please bear with us. But while that happens, what kind of uh, what kind of expectations do you have for this match, Ray? If I haven't asked yet.
Mhm. Well, I think that for this match, we could potentially be seeing, well, of course, since it is round one, we do want to see the Disciple try to get as many kills as possible. But
Mm-hmm.
traditionally, Disciple is not a really four-kill hunter unless she's in the hands of a really powerful hunter, which
Mm-hmm.
could be something really awesome to see.
Oh, it seems that we have our persona trees up as well. It seems that everybody is going to be taking borrowed time. We're going for a more kite-oriented build for coordinator, kind of what I expected. We're also going to be seeing the perfumer taking broken windows. The Chishi, as I anticipated, is going to be taking flywheel, and our wildling is going to have Ty Turner as the sole rescuer.
Absolutely. I'm surprised we're not seeing any builds with no borrowed time, especially on a character like the perfumer. I think it might have been an interesting choice to have her bring potentially both flywheel and windows.
Yes, that would have been very reminiscent of somebody that I know. Uh, but just to have the broken windows on perfumer though is really gearing up to ensure that she is going to kite for as long as she possibly can. It seems that we're going to be running straight to her actually. Um Again, the Wildling's skill, if you didn't know, negates tinnitus, so she doesn't exactly know where she is just yet. But it seems that the perfumer is in a very strong position in the factory for right now.
Yeah, and ooh, the first cat was missed, which does unfortunately um, cause the disciple to lose a little bit more pressure, especially against this team. It's very important early on to get as many of your skills as possible. And another miss from the cats. And we are seeing a
A
great
great
perfume.
perfume.
Absolutely stunning job. And we are going to see excitement as the main trait.
Hmm. Now, we don't exactly know what persona tree that the Anne is bringing, but it does seem that she's breaking the pallets a little bit faster than she would if she didn't have that. Uh, I I'm not too aware of what that one is, that trait's called, but it does seem like we might be switching target. Oh no, we're still continuing the chase on the femur. We're also
Yeah.
seeing a lot of curved jumps from the Anne, which is again such a a talent. It really is a talent to have that you can curve those jumps like that, just like that.
It's
And
it looks like the disciple tried to do a quick down in terms of get the hit with the stun and then have the cat move over, but it does look like it was potentially a missed opportunity there. Um, and the perfumer again playing lots of mind games, but unfortunately
ooh,
failing the mind game at that window and will be going down. We dart at three ciphers remaining, almost two.
Still a wonderful first kite, despite the loss of the first perfume. It really was a testament to how strong this perfumer actually is. It seems that we're going to be seeing the wildling in the area, not quite coming for the rescue just yet, but the Chichi is also in the area to give a little bit more of pressure for the Ant to handle. We're also going to be seeing the cats, for lack of a better word, explode and lock off their abilities and also ability to decode. We're oh, what a wonderful hit!
Very good job. And if we did take a look, the reason that the antiquarian took that cat was so that it could not be recalled for the sake of the stuff.
Stuffing the rescue, yes.
And the perfumer's doing a great job of just rotating away from all of the ciphers, kind of forcing the team to, or allowing the team to get as much decode time as possible.
Mm-hmm. It does seem like the antiquarian will not be harassing here, but it does seem that the wildling is coming back for another rescue. Perhaps a uh, one that focuses more on supporting until the very end. As you can see, we are at one cipher, and the last cipher is a little bit over halfway as well.
Yeah, we looks like the wildling is also opening up a second cipher, but the coordinator is hiding just around the corner in order to try and get that rescue. It's very important that the coordinator nails her gun and doesn't fail it, because then she's stuck without a um, without an item for endgame. The reason that they're not really going immediately for this perfumer is to not only give the antiquarian time to decode, but to the perfumer has no items for endgame, so she's really unable to.
Lovely body block.
Mhm.
It seems that we're going to be switching targets to the antiquarian for now, given that the cipher progress is just so close to being finished. They're going to definitely have to start a different one. The... Oh, it seems that they're healing over there. But oh, I saw that. I saw that turn. Oh, I saw that. That's so unfortunate. But you know what? Saving the gun is also a wonderful, wonderful option, especially since the Anne does have excitement. It could have spelled a quick down for this unfortunate coordinator. But we will be seeing a window hit, a very beautiful one, in fact. And the perfumer is now searching for a secondary item, as well as the wildling coming back to just give a little bit more pressure to that cipher. We can see that the antiquarian has started a different one on the opposite side of the map. But of course, it is beneficial to continue to pressure that cipher as sort of a mind game to her. Seems that we're going to be waiting out the rescue just a little bit to give us some more time. And wonderful body blocking from the wildling. Again, we still have the gun online.
Yes, the coordinator is being very, very patient in terms of like drawing out this item, trying to save it for an end game. And the excitement hasn't been brought online either. But it looks like the perfumer will be going in with a second Euphoria, getting the no damage rescue.
Oh no!
And we will be moving into
pop.
endgame. With the antiquarian already on the gate, with that debuff, does unfortunately give her a little bit of a challenge. Oh, beautiful, absolutely stunning dodge of that swing, forcing the disciple to change targets. With all 4 survivors up at endgame, this is looking like potentially a 3 escape or even a 4 escape on the turn of the survivors. Potentially a tie as well.
We do see the coordinator working that 9, and again, we still have excitement online. It could spell make or break for this poor little coordinator and her gun. Seems that the Anne is actually sanctioning her off from the dungeons. Very, very interesting. We will be seeing 2 survivors, and oh no, the gun excitement. But it does seem that we have our 3-man.
Absolutely great job in the turn on the survivor side. Just keeping up the pressure with a great kite from the perfumer and a fantastic endgame kite from the coordinator.
It was truly a really beautiful example of what I had mentioned, the perfume dodge to avoid the hit. It was really how do I say this? Unexpected that it was pulled off so fast, especially since it really looked like the swing was about to go through.
Yeah, it was super entertaining to see. I'm super excited to see how the opposite team will go ahead and move forward. Overall, though, that was a really interesting match. Again, like previously said, that the Disciple is not a super common choice for a round one hunter because she's pretty strong in terms of the tie category,
Mm-hmm.
but it could be potentially that they're trying to save something out for an additional, um, save something for a later round.
Yes, it could also be that they're just how do I put this? Giving a false sense of security to the survivors here. We definitely have a good lineup for the survivor side. But again, anything can happen. It's never over until it's over.
Absolutely. I think it'll be super exciting to see just how the different teams bring this into the continuing game. But we are going to go ahead and move into the second half of round one.
Hmm. Especially on a map like Ours Factory, it's uh you really have a lot to work with in terms of hunters, especially uh survivor of the hunters that uh benefit from such a flat map. There is no raised areas in this map, so it's really um hunters like Anne, Dream Witch, uh, Bloody Queen. Those kinds of hunters excel vastly in uh, such a place, especially since the middle area is very open.
Absolutely. And with such a small map, like you said, there's not really a lot of different spots for these survivors to go. It would be interesting to see potentially a Dream Witch on this map, or even something like a potentially even a wax artist.
Or even a sculptor with how condensed the walls are, the palettes, things like that. It could happen.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of of other hunters that would work on this map. Nayad is not super strong on this map. There are too many walls for her to really make effective puddles.
hmm we could see possibly a
The
like you
first
said, the opera singer is really an option here. And we also have our first band in. Unfortunately, we'll be saying goodbye to Michael Morton.
goodbye to the acrobat and the perfumer. So this could potentially be an opera singer, as she's
hmm
countered, trying to kind of lock that out. If we see maybe a gardener lock on QYT side.
Yes, especially since in the previous matchup, Mima and Mian had gone over just how strong the gardener is against the opera singer. It just from veterans boost, the bubble, of course, and just the overall ability of the gardener to get away and kind of almost outrun the opera singer. She really does stand a chance, and it really is interesting to see how these. Sorry,
Absolutely.
I just saw something, like my eyebrows raised.
I do think that this could potentially be, like I said, they are going to pick that gardener and the magician, both really, really strong counters to the opera. The gardener able to kind of take the hits in the time that it takes the opera to catch up, and the magician, he can place his illusions in the shadow path, forcing the opera singer to leave the path and either swing or go around, wasting a lot of time.
Mm-hmm. Especially since the a magician, he does, I believe, get a speed boost as well when he uses his uh wand. So that could be very interesting to play out. We'll be seeing our next band coming in, Antiquarian, unfortunately being banned, but we will also be seeing our pick in the Barmaid coming in. Very interesting choice. It does seem that there's a recurring theme among these survivors with having just the speed needed to get away from the hunter should the situation come to it.
Absolutely. And the barmaid pick could also be to potentially dissuade something like a hermit, uh, where she kind of counters him in terms of kind of negating that damage depending on what the hunter decides to bring out.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I honestly think that it could go either way in terms of who will be playing who. It does look like our fourth and final ban is going to be the cheerleader, which does make sense. She is another one of those hunters. The cheerleader is the new hunter,
she
but
is.
she is.
She follows the theme of the team to have a speed boost that is just incredible to have to go against, and we will be completing the theme with the mercenary.
I think this is going to be a really interesting match. The mercenary, of course, is one of the most stable rescues in the game with his delayed damage. However, he's not as strong as he used to be. Well, with the delayed damage kind of taking effect a lot faster than it would previously. Overall, though, I'm really excited to see exactly how this team will square up and against who the hunter could be. Again, my bets are on either an opera singer or even something like a hermit. I think it would be really fun to see.
Especially again, the opera singer. There's a lot to work with on the map, like Orange Factory, and it does seem like the survivor team is preparing for the inevitable opera singer pick. But it also could just be that they are anticipating something else that we don't personally know of yet. But I would like to bet that maybe we'll get a geisha. Of course, that's just me wishful thinking.
Geisha could potentially work against this team. She's able to catch up really quickly against the barmaid, but against these this team is a little bit of a chonky team. Like the
Mm-hmm.
survivors are all able to essentially take multiple hits. I put that in quotations because the magician does not send anything into attack recovery.
Yes, it does appear to be kind of a beefy team. With the gardener with her bubbles that only go on cooldown. I don't think she ever runs out of them, and the barmaid having the re replenishable health. It really is.
I think that this is squaring up to be a very interesting map. What I really like about this new band picket is it kind of forces the survivors to get a lot more creative with their team
Mhm.
comps, trying to figure out exactly who we can and who we can't afford to lose.
It does seem like a very well-rounded team comp. However, again, we do have the mercenary as the rescuer. The barmaid could offer support, or she could also be a very valuable kiter, as well as the magician coming in as a kiter or a rescuer, even. And the gardener, of course, offering a little bit of support with her ability to break chairs and also being a very, very strong kiter. She is a force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely. I'm trying to think if I were playing on this map. Well, I only have like two hunters. I don't know how to play anybody else. I only know how to play Naiad. Uh,
Completely fair.
but if you were on this map, who would you select?
Do you really want to know?
Yeah.
Well, I would just have to pull out my Joseph of all people. But against this team, it's a no. It's a hard no. I do not like the mercenary. The mercenary is not welcome in my matches.
I think this is going to be something super interesting. Um, it makes me wonder though exactly who will be playing Hunter and what Hunter will be brought out on the team.
Hmm. Really, it really does seem like they would pick an opera singer so soon, given the bands being acrobat. Again, he does have the ability to jump away just as the opera singer closes a distance, and the perfumer offering a lot of time being bought, valuable time no less, is considering the opera singer's one suit is chase and not really pressuring ciphers. Um, and of course we have the antiquarian and the cheerleader being banned as well. Cheerleader, not so much of an issue for opera singer, considering she can respond to that dash uh, a little bit faster than other hunters may be able to. It seems that we have the persona trees for the Merc and the Gardener coming in. We have Mercenary running Borrowed Time as well as Tie Turner. Pretty standard, and but we will see a surprise Gardener being a knower and taking 69. I am a vehement 69 fan. Uh, I will vouch for anybody that chooses to not take borrowed time. Again, as I said in the previous bracket, you do not have to worry about borrowed time if you don't make it to the end of the cipher pop.
I definitely am more of a 12-9 truther myself.
Mm-hmm.
I think that 12-9 is one of the most fun builds that you can bring into the game
Oh,
just because
definitely.
it's like, yes, I am going to kite 5 ciphers and I am going to just do a great job. And then you die in 2 minutes, in like 2 seconds to a soul weaver. But that's neither here nor there. And we are going to go ahead and see the opera singer brought out. Very exciting to see. I'm super hyped for how this match will go ahead and move forward. I definitely think that with this opera singer, this is gonna it's giving 2024 autumn IJL with this kind of team
Mm-hmm.
comp, like very aggressively countering that opera, but
Really is
playing
reminiscent of it.
but playing the opera anyway. Super exciting, and we are going to um, figure out exactly what's going to happen. We could be potentially seeing teleport on the opera singer, but blink is also an option as well.
Mm-hmm. We're also getting the rest of the percentages. The barmaid will be taking 39, as well as the magician taking 39 as well. Uh, that uh, shows me that it really is up to just about anybody to kite this opera singer. It seems that they're all prepared to do so as well. It doesn't seem like any of them is particularly afraid to do it either.
Mhm. Absolutely. I think this is going to be a great match to see. The opera matches are always really aggressive um, and very fast paced. So I'm very excited to see exactly how QYT will counter Pip's opera.
All right, getting into the spawn picks, it seems that we're going to have the magician spawning near the shack in no man's land. Our rescuer mercenary spawning in the middle, and the gardener spawning a little bit away from the shack, as well as the barmaid. It doesn't seem that anybody wants to be in the factory at the moment. Uh, and the opera singer is also taking a little bit of a hands-off approach.
I think this is going to definitely be a match for the ages, as they say. But we are going to go ahead and move right into it. Again, we are super excited to be commentating round one of Pip versus QYT.
Uh, we are aware that the visuals are not on the screen just yet. Sit tight. They will be here with us. There they are. It seems that we have gotten the factory palette taken care of just now. The opera singer has also gotten a single presence from the gardener's bubble. If I know it was a little bit difficult to see considering the scene had just switched, but we will be seeing a early hit on the gardener. And with that palette gone, it really is a more difficult transition. Transitioning a little bit to that amazing area. Um,
We are going to go ahead and see
and
the opera singer do a fantastic job, and it does look like the gardener is going to go down very quickly to the opera, just waiting out that bubble. The gardener, unfortunately, wasting a lot of time by trying to move around the opera, who was kind of blocking that pathway.
we also will be seeing that the opera singer does have blink for this occasion. The mercenary will be coming in for rescue. But the opera singer seems to be ooh,
A missed blink and missing the hit as well. Kind of a bit of a wasted opportunity in terms of the opera missing that hit again. Um, but the mercenary will be missing the pallet stun. Um, we will go ahead and be moving in to the gardener. She tries to transition away, but she will be taking that hit and just kind of moving away from the ciphers, forcing the team to, or allowing the team to decode more.
yes, especially since the basement isn't over here in the factory. It seems it's in the shack. Uh, it really is more beneficial to be over here in this corner where you're farther away from the ciphers and uh, it gives a lot more time for your team to worry about those, especially when you're in a situation where you get it down at five ciphers, which is unfortunate, but it's not unprecedented. We will see two ciphers have already been done. It does seem like we're selling the gardener for right now, which they definitely could allow for. It seems that mercenary might be taking the second kite.
Yep. And we'll be using that last elbow pad to just kind of transition out to the next area. Oh, but a terror shock
Terror
on the
shock.
mercenary will unfortunately kind of force the team will force the mercenary to waste decoding time as well as cutting that kite tremendously short. And we will see the opera singer kind of looking around, seeing exactly who she can chase next. It does look like she is heading over to the shack to the magician. But we are going to go ahead and see the magician doing a great job of just transitioning out, forcing the opera singer out of the shadow forms as many times as possible. Honestly, great job from uh QYT forcing oh, but did not use the wand, instead decided to take the hit and transition out. It looks like the opera singer is just going to be changing targets, trying to get as many injuries on the map as possible. Will be getting a hit on that
Beautiful hit.
barmaid. Absolutely stunning job. And we are gonna go ahead and see the opera singer get a little stuck, allowing the barmaid to potentially get this drink off. Looks like with the way that she'll be transitioning around.
It's also worth noting that the opera singer has switched to teleport for this occasion. The barmaid here is doing an excellent job at keeping her attention away from the ciphers and from her teammates that are all injured. And oh,
Ooh.
just missing pallet hit.
It was the like unanimous ooh for me. Um, it is hard to palette stun the opera singer while she is in her shadow form because she is so speedy.
hmm
That increased speed boost, and it looks like the opera is kind of getting her hands, like her getting back used to it, flopping out between the shadows, doing a great job. The barmaid is down again, forcing to waste valuable decoding time. Uh, but it does look like this is potentially a tie or even a 3K potential, um,
We will
based
be
on
seeing.
the way the ciphers are. We are at our last cipher, so we are
Oh,
going to go ahead and see that pop. Um, and unfortunately, the mercenary will be going down, but they are already on the gate. And mercenary does no longer has access to his self heal, but the gate will definitely be open before that teleport is off cooldown. So this is looking like a tie.
a very, very uh how do I put this? A very good decision to pop the cipher at that moment, considering that the two remaining survivors were all the way across the map. Teleport was offline, and the mercenary was like essentially right in her face. It really is. It may have seemed like it was a little bit of a crusty pop, but it really wasn't. In
Absolutely. With that pop, it did allow the mercenary to get a little bit of the speed boost, allowing him to transition to the next window and prolonging the kite just a few more seconds, which is kind of what they needed in order to transition over to the gate and get it open within those 13 seconds.
mm-hmm.
Overall, though, um that will put Pip in the lead, with the current score being 5 points to Pip and 3 points to QYT. Overall, absolutely great job.
Very great job from both sides. And it really is interesting to see the way that they utilized each kiter, especially in a situation where you have one kiter that gets down relatively quickly. It was just incredible to see how they kept their composure in such a situation, and uh, ultimately getting the tie in the scenario that they were put in.
Mhm. Overall, though, this has definitely been a great first round. I'm excited to see how we will move on into the second round in the first half. Um, I think personally they will probably ban out the opera. I'm wondering what map will be chosen. If you were picking a map, what is your map of choice?
My map of choice. Hmm. Well, definitely, I would probably pick, just for fun, I would pick Moonlit. But if I had to absolutely uh, put myself in a situation where I have to choose a map that will uh, benefit me and my team, I would pick Chinatown.
Hmm. I think I would probably want to pick either my maps, some of my favorite maps to play as Survivor would probably be Ever Sleeping Town. I really love playing Entomologist on Ever Sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Or like you said, Chinatown is always really fun to play. Personally, I'm not a huge Moonlit fan. I don't like how far apart the kiting spaces are, especially as Hunter.
Incredibly,
It kind of forces you to overextend, which
incredibly
stresses
valid.
me out.
Especially since while they do have some good kiting areas, the open transitioning to get to each kiting area is just a little bit too intimidating for me to handle. But I do enjoy looping the two palettes. It's a very simple pleasure in my life. We will be seeing the ever sleeping pick as uh our second round.
Yeah. I love Ever Sleeping. I think it's a really fun map. It is super strong for characters like the geisha.
Mhm.
And I always like to see Bloody Queen on this map, but she's not super popular anymore. She's kind of fallen out of the meta with the way that the meta has shifted from looping survivors to transitional survivors.
Especially since so many survivors that are released can just get so much distance away from the hunter, like aeroplanist, cheerleader, uh, survivors like that have been introduced and kind of made her a little bit obsolete. But again, she does have the map pressure to kind of respond to it
Mhm.
uh, with the mirror.
She may be an A tier, but she is SS tier in my heart. And in game, uh, she's really expensive.
She's really expensive. Tucks hair behind ear.
Tucks hair behind ear. Mary, please.
Mary, please grace me with your presence just once. Uh, we will be getting our global bands in. Just a reminder. I
Uh, if you're keeping track from last match, the first two survivors locked in every team comp will be prohibited in the future. That will mean that they are globally banned. So that means that the magician and the gardener are both prohibited from being brought back out in future matchups, at least against QYT versus Pip.
Yes, sorry that's what I was trying to get at. My mic seemed to have died out for a second there.
No worries.
We will be seeing our global bands being Magician and Gardener. Unfortunate, but also a good sign for if they choose not to ban the opera singer.
Yeah, overall, I think this is going to be something really fun. I'm wondering if potentially we could be seeing a hermit. Hermit does have a few really cool teleport spots on this map.
Hmm.
Um, we could also maybe see, like you said, you were hoping for a geisha match. She is rather fun on this map. Uh,
It is her home. It is her home. So
It does look like our first band selected are going to be the Aeroplanist and the Priestess. Makes sense. The Priestess does have a devastating impact on this map. With so many buildings, able to create so much distance. If you're unable to catch up to her in time, can be some phenomenal support.
especially um if they had gone the route of having the transitional survivors, it would have been a detriment to have the priestess on the playing field. So having her banned is definitely going to benefit them in the long run. And
Um,
just like that, the opera singer is banned.
Absolutely. I mean, Opera is very strong on this map, so we could be potentially seeing a Hermit or even maybe a Dream Witch or a Naiad.
Anything is on the table at this point. This map is definitely one that almost any hunter can excel at. And like I had said previously, I believe it was yesterday, even wax artists can make this map his playground, considering just how open those two sides of the map are. He can essentially lock off at least three ciphers from just one chair alone, given the placement of the typical cipher layouts.
Absolutely. I think this is going to be something that is super exciting. I'm very, I'm wondering who the survivors will pick. We could be potentially seeing a entomologist. Um, and I really enjoy entomologist on this map. But we are going to go ahead and see the toy merchant, who is phenomenal on this map. Her catapults are able to create a lot of distance, and the mercenary, uh, who, of course, is a very stable rescue.
Yes, the toy merchants catapults really can be a tie turner for matches. We will also be seeing our third band coming in as the aforementioned cheerleader is being taken off the table, unfortunately, as well as our third pick coming in with um, Miss Margareta Zell being the female dancer. Very interesting pick, but also very welcome because I adore her.
I think that she is also a phenomenal support on this map when she sets up her boxes in middle. It can
Mm,
either be a playground for the survivors or a nightmare for the hunter, depending on the type of box put down, and we are going to see our final ban, which is the Antiquarian. Making sense. Don't want to have to deal with really any stunners in this map. This team is looking like they do want to go ahead and focus more on kiting rather than stunning.
Yes, and we'll also be seeing our final pick, the barmaid coming out once again. Uh, really is nice to see her so often, considering in tournaments you don't really typically see her like in Koa or IJL. You don't really typically see a barmaid being picked, but again, she is very strong. She is essentially a good alternative to a doctor or
Mhm.
a psychologist, even considering that she can um, not
She's
only
able
heal herself, she can she can heal others, as well as not having to deal with stopping every 5 seconds to heal. It is a very good thing that she can just move around while she's healing. I That's my favorite thing about her.
absolutely. I really enjoy seeing um, the way the barmaid is able to take the speed drink if she uses it very wisely. She's able to transition outwards.
Especially with a mercenary online, we could be seeing the barmaid coming in to give him a drink so that he can pull off a second rescue if he has to.
Absolutely. Does kind of reduce the pressure of the hunter by forcing the um by healing the mercenary a lot faster than he would be traditionally. Who are you hoping for in terms of hunter against this team comp? I looking forward to potentially a hermit.
Potentially, I think that they could possibly pull out a hermit, considering that there isn't any uh uh survivors that excel in decoding. Of course, we have the fast boxes for the Margretha, but it's really not that how do I put this? It's a pretty strong boost to decoding, but it's also not as good. And we will be seeing my baby boy Itaka come out.
We love Night Watch in this house. Night Watch is a pretty strong a pretty strong hunter, um, doing a decently good job of catching up against these survivors. With the dash being able to kind of circumvent their kites and transitions.
Especially with a team like that focuses so much on speed. The mercenary, the dancer. I keep wanting to call her Margretha. I'm so sorry that I keep pulling out her Devi. And the barmaid, Itaka can really stagger a lot of these survivors. It really is going to be an interesting match.
I'm just wondering potentially spawns because I feel like we're definitely going to see the mercenary or the dancer in the middle with potentially um, the toy merchant in the middle two-story area, able to set up some strong catapults there, and the barmaid either in corner house or even in graveyard.
We also have our persona trains coming in. Everybody is taking borrowed time. The mercenary will be taking tide, as well as the toy merchant, the dancer, and the barmaid all taking flywheel. Seemingly in response to the pull that the Itaka can pull off.
Mm.
Uh,
Go ahead.
no, you can go ahead.
Well, I would definitely say that if I was going against the Night Watch, I would probably prefer a broken windows as you
Mm-hmm.
vault over and you run out of the wind trail. Whereas flywheel is a little bit harder to pull off. It's great for dodging those swings, but not so much for dodging the wind currents.
Especially since flywheel is really hit or miss when it comes to dodging swings. Personally, I have not had such luck. with it, but anything could happen. I'm sure these survivors are a lot better than I am.
That's why I commentate, because I don't know how to play this game. I
That's why
only know
we
how to
commentate.
watch. Hey! I was pretty close. I got 2 out of 4 spawns correct. With the toy merchant taking the middle 2 story, and the dancer in middle being able to set up that additional support that she'll need. Uh, looks like the barmaid is probably going to be first chase. If I were the barmaid, I would transition in to middle, use the speed boost to potentially get over to the toy merchant's catapults, or just see how long I can loop the kind of 2 long hallways.
All
We are
right, we
gonna
will
go.
be. Oh,
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, we will be seeing the match beginning. The it seems that the Night Watch is going straight to two story here. Uh, you're spotting a glimpse of the dancer actually before she can even set up a music box.
Um, this is an interesting choice. Not choosing not to break the music box, which will allow the dancer to get a lot of time um to transition. She's doing a great job of kind of avoiding that wind current. Um, it does look like we are going to see insolence from the Night Watch.
Oh, I hadn't even noticed that. Did I? Ooh, we will be seeing an early hit, and with that insolence, that will give us the extra dash needed, as well as the vacuum, uh, for lack of a better word, as well as a blink coming out on the dancer. A lovely blink it was indeed. Uh,
Ab-
honestly, it would have been uh, how do I put
Absolutely.
this? Continue.
This that was a great blink, and if we look, we see that the Night Watch has gone ahead and kind of forced the barmaid off of her cipher. Um, it's a little bit too early to get in for the rescue. It looks like the mercenary is coming in, but it doesn't look like the Night Watch has eyes. There we go. Beautiful elbow pad over to the chair. And great job from the mercenary and the Night Watch being very, very patient at the chair. Uh,
Buying the maximum amount of time needed as well. That was like on the line essentially. The flywheel comes out, but not unfortunately not uh able to dodge the hit. We do see that the toy merchant had stopped by to say hello and drop a catapult, but the Night Watch had spotted it. The basement is also here, so we could be looking at a possible sell if the Night Watch chooses to chair in the basement, but it seems that he will not be.
I personally wouldn't have gone for basement here either. Um, the dancer doesn't really have a lot of rebound potential, so it doesn't look like they
Mm-hmm.
might be going in for the rescue. And what that would do is the process of moving them down into the basement wastes a lot of time as Hunter.
Mm-hmm. Especially when uh, you have uh, survivors that are on a four-man BC team, it's very easy to just sell at this rate. And again, you could respond to it by changing targets, but as you can see, the uh, toy merchant is in the area.
We are going to go ahead and see the toy merchant, the Night Watch break the catapult of the toy merchant, kind of not allowing her to provide any additional auxiliary support. She does still have a pocket watch in her toy box, which could potentially be given to the mercenary or the barmaid. Oh, but we are going to go ahead and see the mercenary be dragged in by the cyclone and taking a hit, just trying to transition out. Blink will be back online in 3, 2, 1. We could be potentially seeing a blink, and we are.
What a lovely terror shot.
Beautiful blink terror shot, kind of insta downing that mark as if he were a normal survivor, doing a great job of providing that pressure. We are probably seeing an up down, a insolence detention build from this Night Watch, so it doesn't make sense to hold on to the blink any longer than you need to. Oh,
Ooh,
beautiful
what a
flywheel!
flywheel.
Absolutely stunning flywheel from the toy merchant, um, allowing her to go ahead and get the rescue off. And it looks like Oh, the toy merchant will be hit and going in getting the work to use that elbow pad, forcing the team to kind of scramble a little bit. Now they have to decide, is the mercenary going to take the drink and go in for the rescue, or will the barmaid be going in for the rescue on the toy merchant?
Also worth
And
noting here that the Night Watch isn't solely camping. It seems like he's taking a more patrol approach to uh, stuffing these survivors, looking to stuff a rescue, especially since you have the vacuum to work with. And that is exactly what's going to happen to this poor barmaid. Oh,
oh, this
unfortunate.
has absolutely changed the game and turned it from a potential one man escape to this is definitely looking like a four kill scenario. It is unfortunate, but the mercenary is just too far out from the chair in order to get over to the merchant, especially with no more tide turner online.
He does, however, have an elbow pad to work with. It seems like they're entering some kind of standoff as well as the vacuum coming in to try and stuff him just a little bit longer. The mercenary going for a rescue, but not being able to body block. Unfortunately, we will be seeing the toy merchant come down once again, and our attention has now shifted to the mercenary once again. But as the barmaid picks herself up, she's able to use her last drink. It could also mean that the tide has just shifted once again.
Absolutely. If the Night Watch is able to down this
Wow, that was a really good
barmaid
dash.
quickly, yeah, absolutely fantastic job. And we'll be taking the hit. Looks like the barmaid will be going ahead and oh,
Oh,
everyone, oh, tram.
tram jump scare. We will be
But
resuming chase on the barmaid, breaking away from our brief moment of silliness. We will be resuming the chase on the barmaid. The mercenary has not gotten any progress done on any ciphers, uh, possibly because he just has the decoding debuff, and it's not really worth it to do that when you can be looking through a chest, looking for a syringe. The barmaid has expended her use of the self heal, so she is down for the count for now. So now we are entering a hide and seek reminiscent phase with the Night Watch and the Mercenary.
absolutely, this is definitely looking like a four kill. There's just unless they play this really, really safely, there's honestly no way that this mercenary is able to get dungeon, and he has been spotted out. Will
Ooh.
be taking the blink and going down for the count. Absolutely phenomenal job from this Night Watch, showing that Night Watch is not just a tie hunter, um, but is also able to bring out the 4K potential, and that will be 5 points in favor of Pip, putting the score right now at 5-3. Absolutely great job from both teams. I think that this was a great match that had us on the edge of our seats. Some phenomenal blinks from that night watch, and of course some really good flywheels and some great teamwork from the QYT survivors. Honestly, very entertaining match to watch.
And it was entertaining considering I did get to see Itaka.
Absolutely. I was really a fan of how the survivors were kind of able to transition out and the way that they were kind of trying to keep the Night Watch away from the ciphers. Unfortunately, on a
Mhm.
map like Ever Sleeping, it's not quite big enough to pull something like that off. But I think it was a valiant effort, and honestly, it was great seeing the team how well they were coordinated with trying to meet up.
Especially, uh, more props to the Night Watch for knowing when to go back to the chair, when he's allowed to venture out a little bit more to look for the survivors that are coming in, especially when you're at your full presence and you have the vacuum. It's more uh, acceptable to venture out a little bit more, considering you do have your dash, you do have your boost, you do have the aforementioned vacuum to work with. it really is a testament to just how knowledgeable this Night Watch is with his game sense.
Yeah, overall, this has been a super entertaining match to watch, and we are going to go ahead and probably start gearing up to move into the second half of round two. Um, I'm wondering if I were this team, what would I do in order to um, try and get as many points as possible in terms of the hunter? Who would I play? Really depends on the survivors.
Really does depend on the survivor, as well as since you're working with Ever Sleeping Town, it could mean that we might see a Naiad actually, considering, she does have the ability to lock off so much, uh, and really pressure the survivors as well. Again, she doesn't really excel with the inclusion of two stories, but camping, she does indeed have a lot of strength in.
Absolutely. I definitely think that if I were trying to potentially bring out these different characters, um, I would probably want to see something like maybe if they're allowed, maybe the priestess could be brought out, or the entomologist is able to provide a lot of really good support.
Hmm. I personally do want to see more of the dancer, just because I feel like he wasn't allowed to shine, especially on this map. But uh, I don't know if they'll allow for it, but I can have my hopes and dreams.
I'm definitely hoping for potentially a geisha, or
I'm
we
still
could
holding
even
out on the
see
hermit.
or we could even see the return of the disciple. She may not have been super successful in round one, but it's definitely an option to bring out potentially in round two.
Right. We also have our global bands being voiced. We have our perfumer band as well as the coordinator band, and unfortunately, Ray, you will not be seeing your entomologist on this map.
My disappointment is insurmountable, and my day is ruined. Goodbye.
The tournament's over, actually.
Yeah, everyone go home. No Ento.
No
But
into.
we are with the Ento band. We could be potentially seeing a clown.
That's true. We could also be seeing an axe boy.
Mm.
Happy birthday, Robbie.
Happy character day, Robbie. It's it's Alva's character day.
No, it's Robbie's birthday.
Happy birthday, Robbie.
Happy birthday, Robbie. Uh, Having that into band does open the air up for a lot of hunters that could be uh, otherwise countered by her, especially when we have the antiquarian also banned.
Yeah, I'm hoping for clown. I think clown gameplay is really fun to see. We could also potentially be seeing a gamekeeper.
That's true. Gamekeeper has had like a resurgence kind of, uh, given that he kind of fills in for the opera singer in a way, as Bones had mentioned yesterday and brought to my attention. He does have the dash. He has the ability to catch up with the other survivors as well as pull them towards him and place down those traps that could uh, be detrimental to the survivors as well. We will be seeing our first our hunter band coming in for the survivor side, and we will have to say goodbye to the Dream Witch, unfortunately. But again, the air is open for just about anybody right now.
Absolutely. We could maybe see a I would be hoping potentially maybe to see like you said, the Axe Boy, the clown or the hermit. Unfortunately, with the Dream Witch out of the running, we will not be seeing her in this match. A little sad, but it's okay.
We see her enough. I see her enough in my personal matches. I see her enough.
I mean, with Tomie coming back, I would also be playing a bunch of Dream Witch if I knew how to play Dream Witch.
That's fair. Did you purchase her?
I did get her. I had exactly 24 fragments afterwards.
Completely understandable. I
uh,
personally would have gone for the Joe 5 skin personally, just because the effects are amazing and Yima looks adorable, but
Joke's on you, I got both.
I
Uh,
don't play her enough to warrant purchasing both. So I just got Tomie just because she's beautiful.
yeah, honestly, I'm just a connoisseur of gorgeous skins. If there's a gorgeous skin, I'm gonna try and pick it up. Like right
Exactly.
now, I'm trying to grind out for the composer skin.
Yes, it really is a beautiful skin.
So
Uh,
cutie patootie.
it really is. It does look like an S tier. Like a lot of these shop S tiers that have been coming out don't particularly look like S tiers, but that one looks like an S tier.
Hey, don't be hating. Don't be
I'm a
hating.
hater.
We are going to go ahead and see the priestess and the cheerleader lock. Um, priestess being led out on ever sleeping can either end really, really well or really, really poorly, depending on who the hunter is.
I am looking forward to this priestess gameplay, however, though, because as you said, uh, her support portals, her kiting, she really does add a layer of tension to the matchup. Um, depending on who the hunter is going to be. Like you said, it could even be a clown to combat the speed of the cheerleader, the portals of the priestess. It could just about be anybody actually.
I'm wondering, um, potentially a gamekeeper, or we could still be seeing the clown. He clown versus priestess, 5.0.
Oh yes, the moonlit match, the fabled moonlit match. Our other bands will be coming in. We have the airplane is unfortunately taken offline, as well as our third pick, Aesop Carl, finally gets to show his face here.
We are going to be seeing the embalmer brought out for this match. I think that the embalmer is really fun. He's very stable, especially if they're trying to get a tie.
He really, having the priestess and the embalmer on the same map together, especially when it's a map this big, can really spell for a lot of trouble for the hunter, considering he could embalm somebody right next to the priestess portal, the long portal, of course, and have them just zip away before the hunter can even get to them. It really is just a matter of how they play this matchup. What kind of hunter do you think that we'll be facing? Like, what kind of predictions do you think you'll have?
Um, I would like to see a hermit, but I like watching hermit gameplay.
Hmm. Especially with a team like this, they really would be susceptible to a hermit. We also have our final pick coming in with the mercenary. Pretty solid pick, especially considering uh, the mobility that this team has. I had just thought of something and now it's gone.
uh, I definitely maybe we could still see the cloud. No, we are going to see the opera singer. She is again super strong on this map. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of a brain fart.
Completely understandable. She also can, like I said prior, she can respond to the mobility of these survivors. While she doesn't excel in cyber progress or camping, she can patrol the chair. She can uh, have a strong chase, and it's it really is just a matter of how this opera singer plays. Um, but it is going to be really interesting considering that uh, just the mobility uh, has been the mobility that we were praising just moments ago has been completely negated by the opera pick.
We are going to go ahead and also see the build block. We are going to see the priestess um on 39, which is borrow time and broken windows. The cheerleader will be taking borrow time and flywheel. The mercenary, ever traditional, shall be bringing um, tide turner and borrow time. And then the embalmer, rocking that full kite build that we were praising earlier, 912, which is broken windows and flywheel.
He really is a knower.
He's locked in.
He is locked in. He is ready for whatever this opera singer has to throw at him. But it also just shows that he's very confident that he's going to be first chase.
Absolutely.
Honestly, out of the entire team, he might just be the suitable first chase as well. He has the least mobility as well as the threat of the coffin on the map. It it really is kind of a dress not a drastic but like an expected measure to take such an aggressive build on him.
I think that this is definitely going to be an interesting matchup. I will be very excited to see exactly how this team will go up against the opera singer, who is right now probably the strongest hunter in the game, sitting quite happy at her S tier position.
She may be the strongest hunter in the game, but she is not the strongest hunter in the game when I ban her. All right, we will be getting right into the match here.
Mhm. Overall, I think this will be a super fun match to see. Um, we are going to um, move right in. I think that personally, if I think mercenary in middle,
Mm-hmm.
priestess underneath him potentially, or in the same spot that the toy merchant spawned earlier.
Mm-hmm. Um, if I were the embalmer, I would spawn probably in one of the two stories, just because having the coffin raised up a little bit will uh, just give a little bit more time extra to have the hunter uh, farther away from it. But no, we will be seeing him spawn next to the graveyard. The switching with the cheerleader here, he will be spawning in fake gates area. The mercenary will be taking the middle. The priestess rather. I don't actually remember if that was the toy merchant spawn before. But uh, the opera singer will be spawning adjacent to the mercenary as well as the cheerleader. So it seems that the embalmer is relatively safe where he is for now.
I think that this is definitely going to be an interesting match, and we are going to go ahead and move right into it. Again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This is the second half of round two with Pip versus QYT. We are going to go ahead and see the opera singer go straight onto the move, going ahead and heading to the mercenary first. Interesting first choice. Nope, going to.
Well, it's dropping those pallets there, closing that kiting area off, as well as losing a single pallet. It seems that my previous, how do you call it, statement of the embalmer being safe in his area has been updated, and he is no longer safe. He is being chased right now.
Definitely, it does look like. Oh, the hit will be missed, but we'll go ahead and get that first hit. Teleport. It does look like the opera singer is bringing teleport. Um, the embalmer is kiting a little close to his coffin. Um, but he will be going ahead and taking that speed boost to kind of head out. Will he make this window? He will. Good job from the embalmer. Go ahead, throw down that pallet and moving into the different transitional area.
Well, it's the fact that the not having blink online, it really goes to show that this embalmer is. Oh, what a hit!
Yeah, unfortunately, losing the mind game at the pallet, the opera singer kind of puzzled out the fact that this embalmer threw a lot of pallets and so felt secure enough to just kind of swing right through it.
It does not seem that we will be seeing the coffin get any use at the moment. It probably is better to save it considering she does have teleport and the coffin is right next to a cipher. The mercenary will be coming in for a rescue, throwing every pallet along the way, as well as getting off a clean rescue. Not gonna body block for now. However, without blink, the embalmer has a little bit of leeway to just be throwing down these pallets.
Ooh, unfortunately,
Missed
missed
flywheel,
wheel.
unfortunately.
Going ahead and now just trying to get as far away from the um,
Coffin.
from the coffin as possible. Thank you. For what's the word? Oh, we are gonna go ahead and see the teleport over. Unfortunately, not really giving the embalmer too much time to get away. However, it will just be wasting additional time for the team. They are down to 2 ciphers, but the embalmer will be sent back to the manor shortly.
Again, my statement of you don't need borrowed time if we're not going to make it to the cyber pop ring true. Uh, we will see the mercenary transitioning just a little bit away, considering he is very close at the moment. The 2 ciphers that are being worked on are quite far away from the opera singer at the moment. She has not quite spotted the mercenary just yet, but by the time I finish saying that, she has. We do see a little bit of priestess portals coming out as well as the second to last cipher being popped. It does seem like she's committing to this mercenary for now.
Yeah, the team, however, it does look like. Oh, oh, she was. She went through a portal. I was like, what happened?
Once again, we are recommitting to this mercenary for now. The cipher is almost done, a little bit over halfway. Missing a couple hits, but all is well in Opera Single Land as she gets her final hit. Teleport is online. She does seem to be looking for it. However, they will just pop the cipher for now.
Yeah, unfortunately, the mercenary kind of lost the mind game there. But popping the cipher did, of course, allow him to kind of take that full hit. Oh, but both of them are both here. And falling through those portals.
Seems that the cheerleader will be taking over the kite for now, in an area that is mostly extended, actually, of pallets. But again, pallets are Opera Singer's worst nightmare. The seems like the priestess will be running straight over to the other gate, as well as the Opera Singer, the cheerleader getting terror shocked, unfortunately, trying to buy as much time as she possibly can, but no. And the priestess will opt, instead of opening the gate, to just heal the mercenary to get him up an extra person on the field. Unfortunately, she will be seeing it down as well as a chair.
Yeah, unfortunately, with the tension in play, the mercenary is unable to get a safe rescue, and it is unlikely that the mercenary will be able to rescue the priestess unless the opera singer decides to fully get off of that chair and not teleport back. It does look like she will be going for the cheerleader who is working on that gate, but the gate is only halfway done. Oh, oh, good job
Ooh,
avoiding that hit. Uh, Oh, but now the cheerleader is down, and with no exit path, she will not be able to get up and continue that gate.
we will be see bleh. We will be seeing teleport coming back online in just a moment. It seems that the gate is already open. Detention is still up. Oh, getting hit out of the gate. That is why you do not gateway. But unfortunately, he will be able to crawl out, having just a little bit of sticker in there. The priestess is on this side of the map, probably anticipating that the opera singer would not have been able to teleport back. But unfortunately, we will be seeing the cheerleader on the chair and a priestess in a really bad position.
Um, Looks like the opera singer might have accidentally swung there, accidentally back in the chair, but unfortunately, the priestess is half health, and she is she gonna try and go for the dungeon, or is she going to try and sneak in the rescue? It's not super safe for her. She's unfortunately in a little bit of a tough spot
Especially
with
given the just the swiftness of this opera singer. You're really in a tough situation because the dungeon is right there, as well as the rescue being not 12 feet away from it.
yeah, if I were the priestess, I would be trying to get to the other gate. Uh but it looks like she's going to try and go for dungeon instead as opposed to taking the safer choice to the gate.
Seems that we
Uh,
have our rendition of the clown and priestess standoff happening right here in front of us.
uh Unfortunately, the priestess is unable to heal herself to full. Um, Honestly, I would be trying to potentially try to sneak over to the open gate. She does have two portals online to use.
It does seem that she will be doing just that actually. Again, she does have two portals to utilize, as well as the opera singer not quite picking up that the priestess has left the building.
Uh,
Just having a little bit of fun showing our stickers as well as our nice red ink emote. The priestess has returned to try again and
she was able to get the dungeon. The opera singer was not looking around, and that means that
what an
that is
escape!
the um that is the match. That wow.
That was incredible.
I was like, what? But
Pardon
good
my pardon my French, but that was a real cheek clencher.
good game. That will go ahead and be the end of this matchup with Pip getting a score of 2, not 2, 12,
Well,
12 to QYT's 5. So Pip will be continuing to the next bracket.
congratulations to Pip, and also uh, a wonderful plays from QYT as well. Both teams are definitely, definitely strong in their own merit. They both played excellently, as well as pulling through to get a tie against an opera singer is quite crazy, especially in that situation where it really came down to who gave in first.
Absolutely. We do want to thank you guys so much for coming to tune in. It has been a pleasure and an honor to commentate for the LO League tournament. Um, my name is Ray, and this is my homie Bugs. And we do want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. We hope to see you during the next matchup. You guys all have a great rest of your day.